Hey everybody, it's me, Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie, and I want to talk about NRBQ for just a few minutes. Omnivore Recordings recently reissued this wonderful album from 1983 called Grooves in Orbit, and it is a fantastic release. I know a lot of people think of NRBQ as a rock and roll band, or rhythm and blues, or Americana, but NRBQ is a band that is all that and more. They are indeed America's greatest rock and roll band. This does have bonus tracks, so I highly recommend it. Omnivore Recordings has reissued several of NRBQ's albums, added bonus tracks, and they sound absolutely incredible. They've got many live albums out or live recordings, but I want to focus on the studio stuff. Now, Omnivore has reissued Honest Dollar. I think they did that late last year, and that was a 90s live album, and it has bonus tracks as well, and it sounds fun. But let's talk about the studio stuff. And my main focus here is not that they are just a great rock and roll band. I've done a video on NRBQ before in the past, and you can catch that on my channel. Did that about a year or so ago, maybe a little bit more than that. This time I'm going to focus on the fact that NRBQ is one of our greatest pop bands. Sometimes they sound a little power pop-ish. Sometimes it's just great straight ahead pop, melodic, hooks galore. They write songs that power pop bands would kill for, and power pop fans would die for it. It's just incredible. Let's just go through their catalog real fast. And here's one of Omnivore's reissues. It's the first album with some bonus tracks on it. In these days, the band had Steve Ferguson on guitar, Tom Staley on drums, Frank Gadler on lead vocals, Terry Adams on keyboards and vocals, Joey Spampinato on bass and vocals. This came out in '69. Their second album I don't have on CD, but that was called Boppin' the Blues, and that's an album that they recorded with Carl Perkins. But tracks from this early period can be found on the Stay With Me compilation that came out on Columbia, and this does have some rarities and stuff you may want to check out. Then came the album Scraps, and also an album called Workshop that came out in 1973 that I don't own a copy of, but when they really came into focus was in 1977. By this time the lineup was Terry Adams on keyboards and vocals, Joey Spampinato on bass and vocals, Al Anderson on guitar and vocals, and Tom Artolino on drums. And now this lineup here is what people consider the classic lineup. And they made just a ton of great albums that I'm going to show you right now. This is an Omnivore reissue of All Hopped Up, probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, NRBQ albums. That came out in 1977. Like I said, it's got bonus tracks on Omnivore. Now this Riding in My Car here, this is kind of the same album, but I think they might have remixed a few songs. They mixed songs around, took something off, added stuff. So this is a variation on the All Hopped Up album, and that is worth your while. Now this next one is another great album. It is NRBQ at Yankee Stadium. See, the thing about NRBQ is at any given moment, depending on what song you're listening to, it could be just a great rock and roll song. Could be a bluesy rock and roll song. It could be, just a bunch of guys sitting on a porch, drinking moonshine and playing their favorite songs. Their albums were just so fun. That came out in '78. Their next album from '79 is Kick Me Hard. And this is the expanded deluxe CD edition. And then in 1980, they released the album Tiddlywinks. This is just jam-packed full of great tunes. Again, an Omnivore Recordings reissue. I mean, this is just true rock and roll. The band that I would compare them to the most would be Rockpile. In fact, Rockpile probably wanted to be NRBQ. And still, Rockpile is such a great band, but NRBQ is that and more. But of course, as I told you before, this Grooves in Orbit just recently came out, reissued, and that has bonus tracks as well. Tap Dancin' Bats, this is the expanded edition on CD. 1985, I think it was, is Skeeter Davis and NRBQ with She Sings, They Play. Skeeter was married to Joey Spampinato during this time, and it's fabulous. It's a great NRBQ album, and Skeeter Davis, just a great voice, and that's totally worth your while, and that has bonus tracks. That is on Omnivore. Now, there's an album they did with Captain Lou Albano called Lou with a Q, but I don't have that. In fact, I've never even heard it, so I have to eventually track that down. Here is another NRBQ album. This is called Uncommon Denominators, and that came out in '87, and it's essentially a best of what has come before, with the classic lineup. They signed to Virgin Records and put out Wild Weekend. It's a great mix of the classic NRBQ sound with some commercial production, but it's just jam-packed full of great songs. By the way, did I mention to you that NRBQ stands for New Rhythm and Blues Quartet? But they are so much more than that. Now, I want to show you this. It's called The One and Only, and this is a promo-only compilation that came out about the time of Wild Weekend. And this has songs from Wild Weekend plus some tracks from their previous albums. Then, Message from the Message. This came out in 1994. Now, between Wild Weekend and this, there was a 2 CD set called Peekaboo, which was a career-spanning collection, and that's a great collection, and I thought I had it, but when I pulled out all my NRBQ CDs, I couldn't find it. I'll probably find it right after I'm done editing this video. But Message from the Message, this was actually their best-selling album. Now, Al Anderson had left the band, and Joey Spampanato's brother, Johnny Spampanato, joined the band. Now, during that whole transition period, they issued a children's album, You're Nice People You Are, in 1997. And then they did a Christmas album. I don't know if this was actually an album that had come out. It could have been an EP, but they expanded it. But their song Christmas Wish is a classic Christmas song. Now, another self-titled album came out, and this came out in 1999. And this was the first full album to feature Joey Spampanato's brother Johnny on guitar. Great addition to the band. The next album that came out was called Atza My Band, came out in 2002. And that was followed by Dummy in 2004. Now, because of health issues, Terry Adams had to step away after that album. I don't know the ins and outs of what happened, but I do know that they got back together in 2007 for a gig for a short time. And then Terry Adams eventually put together a new NRBQ. And I know some people are going to say, well, if it doesn't have the classic lineup, I'm not going to listen to it. Well, you're going to miss out because there's all that great stuff that they recorded with Johnny Spampanato. And then this lineup is so great as well. All great singer, songwriter, players. And then they released their first album with a new lineup, and that is called Keep This Love Going. And that came out in 2011. Then they released the album Brass Tacks in 2014, but then Omnivore Recordings actually reissued it with a color cover, and they added bonus tracks on that as well. There's an EP that they released called Happy Talk, and that's on Omnivore Recordings. In 2018, they released a digital EP called April Showers. Then they released an album called Infrequencies, which has a bunch of odds and ends on it, including those songs that were the digital-only EP called April Showers. So you're getting a lot of odds and ends from their career studio and live, and that's a great collection. They also released the album Dragnet. I believe that was 2021 that they put this out. And that seems to be the final, as of now, NRBQ album. We've still got other albums, hopefully, that Omnivore will be reissuing. Hopefully, they'll have a new album as well. But I want to show you this, too. This is an absolute treat. This is a 5 CD set called High Noon, and this covers their career. And this is chock full of great NRBQ goodness. Just look at the amount of songs you get on there. Any of the compilations, if you want to start there first, go ahead, because you can't lose on an NRBQ compilation, but this is the ultimate one to have. So if you're into great melodic pop, and we are talking pop, I want you to sit back and relax, because I've put together a medley. You know, I just picked 15, 20 songs. I don't even remember how many I put in here, just little snippets of them, just so you can hear their poppier side, because I know that a lot of my viewers are really into great pop music, and NRBQ is a great pop band. But they're also a great rock and roll band, and a great blues band, and a great swing band, and a great Americana band, and they're just everything to everybody. So why don't you give this a listen, and then I will see you on the other side.
And I can't find no true love, oh baby, it's so hard. And I still think about you every time I'm riding in my car. But what could I do? What could I say? What could I do to make you love me? What could I do? I just wanna be any place you're gonna be, It ain't like us living in a castle like a king. Wouldn't be much fun without my queen. And I'll probably throw it all away if I don't have you. After driving, my girl and I, we start to grin. We can't see out, they can't see in. After driving, what we do, it is no sin when it rains. You make me happy and now I can smile. Let's keep this love we got going. You make me happy. Let me say things to you. You are a good dream come true. Baby, when you hold me close, I can't remember what I'm supposed to be. And a little bit of bad sounds good to me. Will you make love to me and stop looking at me like I'm crazy? Will you make love to me when the call of the wild speaks to me, little child? Blame it on the world. Well, it's always something. You blame it on the world. You blame it on the world. If you can't find someone, you blame it on the world. Blame it on the world. Every morning when the moon goes down and there ain't nobody else around, I shuffle over to the edge of town, waiting on my sweetest pie. I know you belong to somebody new, but tonight you belong to me. You can't hide behind the makeup. You have to let your complexion show. But you can't hide, I have to let you know. Hey boys, it's a wild weekend. We did a thing and we'll do it again. We had fun and it just got started. We on the run and we're crashing parties. Getting ready, 'cause it's a wild weekend. It may seem fun that she's always on my mind. That ain't every dream. She'll always be there. But we don't like to study much. Arithmetic makes us sick. We like to have lots of fun and sing these songs for you.
Well, that's it. I hope this encouraged you to check out the group NRBQ. Omnivore Recordings recently reissued the great Grooves in Orbit album, and they've got a lot of other reissues, including probably my favorite, All Hopped Up. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell for future notifications, and until the next time, remember me. I'm Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie.